I'm Phil Wrzesinski. This is me being a superhero for you. I know a little bit about advertising because I spent 25 years advertising this building right here. This is the Toy House. That was my store. Started by my grandparents back in the 40s, and from the 90s and through 2016, that was me. 30,000 square feet in a downtown location. Doesn't look like downtown. We're on the outskirts of town, right across the railroad tracks. Wrong side of the tracks, so to speak. Big store, and we had to do a lot of marketing to draw the traffic that we needed to make our business successful. I spent over 25 years, over $2 million in advertising. Now, over 25 years, it doesn't seem like a whole lot, but it was a whole lot. But it wasn't the only thing that I did. Yeah, I ran radio ads. Yeah, I ran television. Yeah, I ran newsprint. Yeah, I had billboards. Tried all those different things. I also had to find other ways that I could get traffic through the door so I could sell these customers. And so I'm going to show you today some of the different things that we did and that other people are doing on a shoestring budget. Things that aren't going to cost you a whole lot of money, but are going to get traffic through the door. Here's the 8 things I want to talk about. Word of mouth, the best form of advertising. What a lot of people don't know is you actually have to do something that people want to talk about. Social media, how do we use it best? Networking, how can we get people through networking? Collaboration, cause marketing, fixed return classes, and if we have time, hopefully at the end, we'll talk a little bit about some publicity, how we can get free press coverage. There is a way. I've known it. I figured it out. So let's jump right in. Let's talk about word of mouth. As Bonnie Raitt said, let's give them something to talk about. That is the problem with word of mouth, is we don't give them something to talk about. I want to talk about a book that came out back in 2009. George Whalen's a retail consultant. He was the kind of guy that his idea of a great vacation was to go shopping. He went to Turkey and he spent all this time at a big, huge, fancy new mall and also at the Grand Bazaar. If he was here in Chicago, he'd be at the Water Tower, or he'd be at the Magnificent Mile, or he'd be at Navy Pier, because his idea of a good time was to go shopping. George Whalen's a fascinating guy, unless you were sitting next to him on an airplane, because he wouldn't shut up. And all he would do is ask you questions. Where'd you come from? Where are you going? What you doing? What's your favorite place to shop? That was the question that he would always ask. He'd always say, what's your favorite place to shop? And every time he flew into Detroit, he'd ask people from Michigan, what's your favorite place to shop? And without fail, they would always say, Bronner's Christmas Wonderland. 100,000 square feet of Christmas. All Christmas, all the time. Over 50,000 ornaments. It is a mecca for Christmas lovers. It is amazing. They have buses showing up every single day. He called me up in 2007, though, when he was writing his book. He says, Phil, I'm writing this book called Retail Superstars. I want to include you in the book. This is Phil at the Toy House. You got the right number here? No, he was serious, because he said besides Bronner's, there was another store that he always heard about. Toy House, maybe too. My store. Yeah, we're in the book. 25 best independent stores in America. It was a heck of an honor, but the interesting thing about it was, it dawned on me, the reason I was in the book was one reason only. Word of mouth. People were talking about me. If they weren't talking about me, George didn't hear about it. If George didn't hear about it, I wasn't going to make it in the book. Now, if you ask another guy, Roy Williams, the Wizard of Ads, wrote this wonderful book. If you want to read a really fascinating book on advertising, buy the trilogy. There's 3 books that go with that set. It's really, really cool. Write it down right now. Take a screenshot. I'll give you 2 seconds to do that. While you're doing that, I'll tell you what he says about word of mouth. You get it one of 3 ways. Over-the-top design, over-the-top customer service, over-the-top generosity. What's the common phrase in there? Over the top. Yes. You want to give somebody something to talk about. A reason for them to say, did you see that? That's what word of mouth is. So what's over-the-top design look like? Well, it used to look like this. A Ferris wheel in a building. 3-story tall Ferris wheel. Who builds that? Nobody. My grandfather wanted to build a carousel that took kids into our store. Be half in, half out of the store. Unfortunately, we're in Michigan. We couldn't quite figure that one out. But, that's over-the-top design. Of course, that's not quite a shoestring budget, is it? Here's another one that's over-the-top design. This is another company that's in that book, Retail Superstars. This is Estes Arc in Estes Park, Colorado. They built the whole store to look like an arc. In fact, where I'm standing to take that picture is an actual photo op spot. They encourage you to go there, drive up the mountain, take that picture, and people do. And people go into the store. And you know what they sell? You want to take a guess? Yeah, stuffed animals. You know how many they sell at a time? 2. 2 by 2, yeah. That's bizarre. But here's the thing. Over-the-top design doesn't have to be expensive. We can do it with our window displays. This is another toy store in Staunton, Virginia, Puffer Bellies. Anybody here from that area know about Puffer Bellies? This is the crowd in 2012 that was outside of her windows for the unveiling of her Christmas window that year. Last year, they had to shut down the road. Let that sink in. Her window displays are the kind that people shut down the road so that they can be there for the unveiling. Does it cost her a lot of money? No. A lot of creativity? Yes. But she makes windows that people want to talk about. Over-the-top design can be something as simple as this. We built this little sign in the front of our store. It was a road map to all the different places you might want to go if you're taking kids, like Cedar Point, Little House on the Prairie, SeaWorld. You can see, but some of these like Wonderland and 100 Acre Wood don't even exist. Imagine if you put up a sign there, one pointing to Metropolis, one pointing to Gotham. Yeah, a lot of different ways you can make something that people want to talk about. People came and took pictures right there in front of that sign. What do you see in the background? The Toy House sign, the Toy House logo. Yeah, we positioned that so that you have to do that. That's Christina, my artist, who put that sign together. That cost me about $150. $150 to have people taking pictures every day in front of that sign. We did this on the side of the building. Maybe you've seen these Before I Die concepts. We put a few others up there. My favorite toy is, my best memory is, I smile because we kept changing the boards out. A typical board cost me about $200 to build. I throw it up there, some chalk, and yeah, we had to go out there a few days and erase certain words that were not on there that were appropriate. But I was there for early in the morning, so I was there about 7:30. I'd get to that usually before too many people saw it. We sold the building a couple years ago, and that board is still up. And they still have people using chalk and writing on it. It's awesome. In fact, every scavenger hunt that ever happened in our town, one of the stops was to write something on that board. Over-the-top design. It can even be as simple as the products that you sell. This is the one that we sold, 32,000-piece jigsaw puzzle. 18 feet long when it's built, 6 feet tall. 32,000-piece puzzle. Did I buy that because I expected people to buy it? No. I bought it to get people to go, did you see that? Oh my God, there's a 32,000-piece puzzle. And people showed up in droves to take pictures by it. This came with its own hand cart. I don't know if you can see this over here. 42-pound box. It had its own hand cart to wheel it away. We actually sold 3 of them. Yeah, it cost me $160 to buy this, but the word of mouth I got from it was phenomenal. You can do that with the products in your store, over-the-top design. Now, over-the-top customer service. What's that look like? Anybody know where that picture is taken? Pike's Place Market, Seattle, yeah. All right, let's deconstruct this picture. We have a woman lying on a counter in a fish store. Okay, that by itself is pretty amazing. But look at this woman. She's wearing a dress. She's not wearing a dress. She's going out for the evening. And where'd she go? She's in a fish store, holding a fish, laying on a fish counter. Do you get that with regular customer service? No. Over-the-top customer service. You have to do things for your customers that they didn't expect. You have to take it above and beyond. If the customer comes in and you give them great customer service, you know what? That's no good anymore. You give me great customer service, what do I say? I say, thank you. Our transaction's over. But if you do something I didn't expect, I go, wow, I got to tell somebody about that. When you raise the bar in your customer service, it's real easy. Find out what customers expect, do that, and a little bit more. I have a whole presentation. Come talk to me later, or you can actually find on my website about how to raise the bar in your customer service to the point that customers go, wow, I got to tell somebody about that. By the way, that fish market, you want to learn more about them, go buy the book. Play, make their day, choose your attitude. be world famous. That's all they did. They said, we want to be world famous. What does it take? Well, you got to do things differently if you want to be world famous. Now, the third one, that's one where we can come in very easily. Over-the-top generosity. How does that look? Well, let's say a new restaurant comes to town. Brand new, fancy dining. You've heard some good things about it. You've heard it's a little bit pricey, but you're going because you've heard really good things about it. Everybody's been raving about this place. So you get together with a couple other friends. And there's 6 of you, decide we're going to this restaurant. We're going to have a good old time. Saved up your money. Off you go. And you get there, and the food is phenomenal. And you're seeing the food going by, and it looks good. You've made your order. You can't wait till that food comes. But another thing you see is everywhere you go, everywhere you turn, somebody's ordering dessert. There's desserts going by left and right, and they look awesome, scrumptious. Fancy desserts. Wonderful, tasty, yummy chocolate cake. Anybody drooling yet? It's right before lunch. I probably shouldn't be showing these slides right now, should I? Yeah, here's mine, chocolate chip cookies. You can buy me with chocolate chip cookies. I'm easy. But then you look at the menu, and you're reading that menu, and those desserts look pretty darn good. You're wiping the drool. Yeah, that's good. And then you look at the price, and you say, ooh, I'll tell you what, why don't we get a couple for the table to split? And that's what you guys decide on. Then all of a sudden your waiter comes over and he says, man, you guys have been awesome. You guys have been my favorite table tonight, and I want to buy everybody here a free dessert. You going to talk about that meal? Oh, yes, you are. You'll be talking about it for months. In fact, somebody's going to come to you 6 months down the road and say, hey, where do you want to go to dinner? Hey, let's go to that new place downtown. Last 3 times I got a free dessert. Over-the-top generosity. And pardon the pun, but they baked the price of that free dessert into the menu, didn't they? Well, here's the thing. It doesn't even have to be that. It's just got to be something that you give. Something that you give freely. You don't advertise it. You give it freely. If you're a jewelry store, Roy Williams, when he's talking about the over-top generosity, works with a lot of jewelers. He has a rule. If you fix watches and replace watch batteries, you're not allowed to charge for it. Why? Well, let's think about it. What happens when a guy like me walks into a jeweler to get a new battery for my watch? What do? I hand it to the jeweler. What does he do? He goes back in the back room to fix it, right? What do I do while he's gone to fix it? Yeah, window shopping. Exactly. I'm staring, looking at the jewelry. Isn't that like a jeweler's wet dream? To have me standing, staring at the jewelry with nothing else to do? Let's face it. Ladies, you don't understand this, but for us guys, walking into a jewelry store is intimidating as hell. We don't want to do it. Drives us crazy. It's scary. But they're making me feel more comfortable. Why? Because I'm hanging out. Salesperson comes over, hey, how you doing? Getting a new battery in your watch? Yeah, okay, cool. How long does it take a good jeweler to change a watch battery? About a minute, yeah. A great jeweler takes 5. Because he knows. Time to install, 5 minutes. Having the customer stare at the jewelry cost him $1. But for that $1, he got what? Word of mouth. Because what am I going to do? Say, hey, buddy, you got to go check out Dupuy Jewelers, man. They'll change your watch battery for free. And he got me to stare at all the jewelry. Over-the-top generosity. You might not notice from looking at me, but I used to be a rock climber. When we got our rock climbing shoes resold, we sent them to Jules. Jules was in Boulder, Colorado, and she did the best job of resoling shoes. So when all of us rock climbers would get together, we'd see somebody had their shoes resold. The first thing we asked them was, what flavor did you get? Because Jules would put a little Jolly Rancher in your box when she sent it back. That was it. But that little generosity got us to talk about how great Jules was. What do you have in your store that you can give away for free? We gave away helium balloons. And when that got to be expected, we had to change it. We gave away helium balloons with doodles on them. I brought in an artist, taught my staff how to doodle. And they doodle little animals on there. What can you give away for free? You can get word of mouth. So that's one way we can get customers without spending a lot of money. Social media is another way, and I could talk for a whole 45 minutes, hour and a half on this, but let me just say this. The best time to get a social media campaign is just like the Chinese proverb. So the best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago. The second best time is today. Social media is one that takes time. It takes time to build up that list of people, those followers, the people that want to be part of your fan base. But it's also getting tougher. But the problem with Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, all these social media, is we tend to use them the wrong way. We tend to use them as a means like we use other advertising to talk at our customers. It's called social media. Social being the key word. If you want to use Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, you have to find ways to engage. It's all about the shares. It's all about the comments. It's all about the likes. When you get your customers to share your posts. See, there's a little algorithm that Facebook has for businesses. They're killing us. Mark Zuckerberg didn't become a billionaire because of free organic searches. He came up from boosted and paid advertising. That's what he wants. So if you have a business page, I guarantee you when you put a post out there, take whatever number you have as fans and followers and take 99% of that away. They release it to 1%. So if you've got 1,000 people following your business, 10 people see your post. 10. Now, if those 10 engage, though, if they share it, if they like it, if they comment it, they say, oh, okay, we'll give you another 10. Maybe another 50, maybe another 100. The more engagement that you have, the more people will see it. So what you post is as important as how often you post. In fact, what you post, here's your list. This is the most bullet points you will ever get in one of my slides. Take a picture of it because it's not in the notes. I'll wait. The keyword right up there, post share-worthy stuff. In the paper, rock, scissors hierarchy of Facebook, shares beats comments, comments beats likes, likes beats bored to death. Post share-worthy stuff, consistent with your core values. Ask questions, post pictures, avoid exclamation points. It's all right there. You need to post things that get people to want to share them. In fact, here's what I'm going to recommend you do. Do this. Take this picture, because this is also not in your notes. I learned this from a pet store guy. He had his staff turn them all into admins for his page. He had a contest. They were allowed to post twice a week or twice a day. Something appropriate for the business, something that tied back to their core values. And then what he did is at the end of the week, he saw who had the most shares, who had the most comments. $20 to the person who got the most shares and $10 to the person who had the most comments. Now it cost him, what, $30 a week? Do that for 5 weeks, you spend $150, but think about the data you will have of what moves the needle and what gets people to pay attention. That's how social media works, is we get social, we get engaging, we ask questions, we listen to what our staff have to say. This was a post that we did. What do you think? I just posted an article. You look down here, 160 shares. That's the gold. The share. Why the share? Because the share not only gets more people in your algorithm to see it, more of your fan base, but it also gets all their friends, the people that don't know you yet, to see it. And that's how we get more reach. You know, we can look at all of them. Pinterest. Pinterest is a good one for your category because it's so visual. It's so visual. Here's the key thing. Incorporate your logo and website into the picture where it doesn't interfere, but can't be cropped out. So every time they share it, your name's getting out there. Twitter's the same thing. Engage, engage, engage. It's about having conversations. Here's the thing. The more you share stuff that people want to talk about, the more you share stuff that are like secrets, insider knowledge, the more we want to share it. By nature, we are all sharers of secrets. And I'm going to get in trouble right now by telling this little truth. Ladies, I want you to know something about us guys. Guys, I apologize for throwing us under the bus, but here we go. This is how we talk. We talk vertically. Did what I say make you think higher of me or lower of me? That's why I'm not asking for directions. Seriously, because what do I have to do to ask for directions? I have to admit I don't know. I'm not doing that. You can ask Melissa here. When we got here with all my stuff for my booth that I have this afternoon, I didn't ask the people where to go, and we walked the wrong way. This is a big building. I made her sit down and said, I'll go find the room. I'll come back and get you. We speak vertically. Did what I say make you think higher of me? If I know something you don't know, guess what? Come here, I'm going to tell you something you don't know. And I'm going up the ladder. That's the way we talk. Now, guys, you need to understand about women. Yeah, they speak differently than we do. They speak horizontally. Did what I say draw me in closer? Push me farther away. That's why when they walk into a store, they don't find what they want. What do they do? Hey, you, come help me. Because that gets them into the inner circle. But here's the cool thing. When the ladies know something, they call their friends and they say, gather around, ladies. I'm bringing you into my circle. Let me tell you something you don't know. We love to share. What can you put on your Facebook that people don't know? That people think, that's really cool. I want someone else to know about it. Use it that way. You'll find your engagement goes up. All right. Let's talk about networking. How many of you have a Chamber of Commerce or a DDA or some other group that does networking events? Yeah, it's a good thing. We all think about that and go, wait a minute though. I did this for a presentation for the baby industry and I had somebody say, I've been to networking events and I have never seen a pregnant person in a networking event. So let me just ask you, how many of you know somebody that's pregnant right now? Yeah, see? I guarantee you everybody in that room knows somebody that's pregnant. Everybody in that room knows somebody that needs your product. But here's the problem. We go into networking usually taking the wrong approach. My buddy Tim was doing this presentation about networking at a networking event. And he asked everybody in the room, this was purely networking, he says, how many of you are here to sell something? Every hand went up. He says, all right, how many of you are here to buy something? Crickets. Not a word. He said, all right, how many of you think you're going to be successful selling something tonight? No. He says, I'm going to tell you a little secret. He says, the first one of you that takes the mentality of a buyer tonight is going to have the most successful night of the evening, of anybody. He says, networking is not about selling. It's about building relations. It's about finding the people who know people that might need what you need, what you sell. It's not about selling to me or you or the next person you meet. It's about building that relationship. Dale Carnegie said it best. You can make more friends in 2 months by becoming interested in other people than you can in 2 years trying to get other people interested in you. Ask them what they do. Find out what they do. Find out what they're selling. Be a buyer. And then when you get home, find someone in your network that needs what they're selling. Send them their way. And you know what the law of reciprocity says? They're going to send someone back your way too. I love this quote right here. Susan Cain, one genuine new relationship is worth a fistful of business cards. Our chamber does speed networking. I hate it. Because when I go into a networking event, my goal is 2. I want to meet 2 people that night. That's it. I don't want to meet more than 2 people because I'm not going to remember. I want to meet 2 people that I can form a relationship with and find a way that I can help them. And if I can help them, they're going to help me. Maybe not right away, but it's going to happen. But if I go to 4 or 5 networking events, now I got 8 or 10 people in my network. And we're all going to work together and share. Networking works when you take the mentality of a buyer. When you take the mentality of, I want to build a relationship. Whether you belong to a service organization, whether you go to your chamber events, whether you go to breakfasts or other events where there's other people, other business owners, build a network. It doesn't cost you anything but time. And you get business that way. This is a picture from McMinnville, Oregon. Anybody from the Portland, Oregon area know about McMinnville? My friend Linda took this picture. McMinnville's a small little suburb or a small little sleepy town outside of Portland. Their downtown is very organized without any help. They don't have a DDA, they don't have a chamber, they don't have a shop local group. They just have a bunch of downtown business owners who got together in the wine bar one night and started getting to know each other. Here's what they did here. They were at the wine bar with the Wi-Fi building their social media platforms. And the people that already knew how they worked were helping the people that didn't to get their Facebook set up, to claim their business on Google, to get all their different accounts going, to write reviews for each other, to help each other out. And that collaboration, that working together, they started finding different ways that they could work with each other. I had a shoe store in town. I said, tell you what, I'm going to give you a little marketing piece I want you to send to your customers. You're going to give me a little marketing piece I'm going to send to my customers. And it was awesome using the two of us in our different groups to find each other and find new customers that way. He sold a lot of children's shoes. I sold a lot of children's toys. It worked. Find that person that you can collaborate with and reach their group while you let them reach your group. It can be a powerful tool. Now, this is a really cool thing. In our DDA, we had a group called Midtown Merchants, and we all knew each other. We got together. We'd have these wonderful meetings. And we realized all the owners of the stores knew each other. But my friend Wendy had a gift shop right across the street from the coffee shop. And one day she had a customer that walked into her door, and the customer said, Wendy, I didn't even know you existed here. I was just across the street at the coffee shop, and I asked the barista there, said, I need to go buy some gifts. Do you know any places, any gift shops around town? And the gal looked at me and said, Target? There's a gift shop right across the street. But that's the thing, our frontline staff don't always know what we know. If Brian, the coffee shop owner, had been there, he'd have told her where to go. He said, go see Wendy. Fortunately, the customer walked out the door, looked across the street, had good enough eyes to go, look, gifts. Found the right place. So we had to do something else. So we had a little scavenger hunt with our downtown. Had all of our frontline staff got together, got them into teams and said, all right, for the next 2 months, you need to go to as many downtown businesses as you can. And the way you prove that you've gone to these businesses, you need to take a picture of your team at that shop, at that business. And then we got together at one of the local restaurants downtown, had a big slideshow of all those pictures, had prizes for the best pictures, people that went to the most groups, the most creative. Here's the winning slide. It would happen to be my own team at the tattoo parlor downtown. Isn't that wonderful? I love that picture. Every single person that was on a team that year said, wow, I didn't realize downtown Jackson had so much to offer. Get your frontline staff to collaborate as well. How many of you were hit up just in the 2 days before you got here for a donation? Yeah? Once a week? How many of you get at least once a week? Somebody saying, you'd be perfect to be a sponsor for my event. Man, as a toy store, I was apparently perfect for every event that ever happened. I'd have it almost daily, somebody asking for a donation, somebody wanting something from us. Now, obviously I couldn't give to everybody. So I had balloons printed up with the Toy House logo on them. And if it was an event that didn't fit into my criteria, like it was a private event or an event for an individual, a lot of causes, oh, my daughter's got an opportunity to go to England and she's trying to raise money for that. Great, I appreciate that, but I'm not giving. I can't do that. I can only have so much to give. But I'll give you some balloons for your event. And everybody walked out happy because they got something. If it was another event, I might give them a $20 gift certificate. Why? Because I knew they brought in that $20 gift card, they'd spend $40 and I'd get my money back. And that worked, and they walked away happy. But I had people that wanted more. And they always said, Phil, you should sponsor us. We're going to put your name on our t-shirt. How many of you have ever bought anything because you saw a t-shirt like that? Nobody. Getting your name on a t-shirt is no value to you. You know who sees this? The only person that sees your logo on the back of a t-shirt is somebody else that does a t-shirt. And they go, hey, look who's on the t-shirt. We got to call them up. Maybe they'll sponsor us too. That's it. But that doesn't mean cause marketing can't work. If you want cause marketing to work, make the cause bring you the customers. We had a group, Jackson Junior Welfare League. And they would raise money every year. And my mom and my grandmother were founding members of the Jackson Junior Welfare League. So we were always a big sponsor of them. When I say big, we gave them $50 instead of a $20 gift card. One year they came to me and they said, hey, Phil, how can we get more than $50? I said, well, I got a deal for you. You have your meeting. It rotates around town. Why don't you have your November meeting at my store? We'll stay open late just to accommodate you. We'll take care of all the accommodations. We'll have some snacks and stuff for you. Here's the other thing that we'll do. Let your people come shop at my store. I'll give you 5%, whatever they spent. In an hour and a half, they spent $4,000. And it was the best $200 check I've ever written in my life. 3 years in a row, that check was right around $200. The fourth year, they forgot to tell their staff, that their members, that this is what they were doing. They didn't show up to shop, and I wrote them a $26 check. And they're like, Phil, you usually give us $50. Why only $26? I said, hey, here's the rule. You got to shop. See, the win-win-win on this is their people are getting tired of getting hit up for money. Their members are getting tired of just giving them money. But if you say to their members, hey, tell you what, go shop for toys at Toy House where you were going to shop for toys anyway, and just spend your money there instead of here, we win. So the people that they're hitting up all the time, their fan base is going, oh, cool. I was going to spend that money anyway. Now I don't have to give directly. I can just go do my shopping someplace else. You get exposed to their customer base, not yours. You don't advertise it, they advertise it. Here's the thing, the win for them, they get money. They get more money than the $20 gift card you were going to give them or the package of balloons with your logo on it. And then everyone wins because the exposure for both you and the charity is something that you can share with the media. Cause marketing can work if you do it right. So what's other ways we can do advertising? One of the biggest things about advertising is we don't know how much it's going to cost us or what we're going to get. What is our return on investment? John Wanamaker said, half the money I spent on advertising is wasted. The trouble is, I don't know which half. What if I said to you, I can guarantee you for $5 a customer that you're going to get traffic? $5 a customer. How many of you would sign up if I said it's going to be $5 for a new customer, period? Not a penny more, but not a penny less. It's easy. Print up a gift card for 10. Print up a whole bunch of gift cards for 10. And walk around town and find people that don't know who you are. Give it to them. It doesn't cost you a penny till what? Till they redeem it. Make it a gift card, not a coupon. No strings attached. If you put strings, if you make it a coupon, they have to pony up their own money. Then they're more reluctant. They aren't going to come in and redeem it. But if you say it's just straight up a gift card. Now, how many people are going to spend $10? A bunch. Some of them are going to spend 50. Some of them are going to spend 100. Some of them are going to become customers for life. The fixed amount. We did that. I bought a big brass bell, 32-pound brass bell. We hung it up, and we started the birthday club. Birthday club, on your birthday, we would mail you a postcard. Looked like that. $10 gift certificate. And sure enough, half the transactions, $10.59. Thank you, Uncle Sam. Sales tax. But the average transaction, $29. Sometimes as high as 33, sometimes as low as 27, but the average pretty much about 29, between 29 and $30. Oh, and people came back year after year after year. We didn't even have a limit on that. You could use that no matter how old you were. I asked on social media, that was one of my engagement posts, how long should our birthday club last? And somebody said 40? I said, okay, cool. We won't end it at all. Summer before we closed the store, we had a gal who was 94 years old. Came in and rang the birthday bell and bought 2 decks of playing cards. Yeah. Give something away like that, you guarantee your fixed income. You know exactly what you're spending per customer. It gets people through the door. This is a funny slide. I always crack up at this. You know what this is? Apple Camp. Like Apple needed something more to drive traffic into their store. Apple Camp. 4 days where you take your child and drop them off at an Apple store for 4 hours. The nearest Apple store to me was 45 minutes away. I took my kids there 4 days in a row. My son is 19. He's in college since the day he was 11. He has wanted to work for Apple. He will be working for Apple. I guarantee it in 2 years. That's the way he works. Apple Camp. Oh, I paid $40 for the privilege to take my kid to the Apple store. But here's the thing, you have stuff in your store that you can do that will draw traffic in. Use your expertise, use your knowledge. Whether it's game nights, whether it's different events, card games, those are fun and easy, we all are doing those. But what can you teach? We sold baby products. That's me and our baby department standing up there talking about how to pick a crib and how to pick a dresser, how to pick a mattress or a car seat or a stroller, and giving customers the information they needed to make better choices. It was a free class. We weren't audacious enough to charge for it. We wanted people to come in the door and check it out, because once we got them in the door, gave them the knowledge we had, they came back. They stuck around. They had fun. What can you teach in your store that's going to get traffic in the door? So there you go. Those are the first 7. We got a little bit of time left. I want to hit on this last one. It's a little bit different. How do we get the press to talk about us? How do we get free publicity? You actually have to work at it. How many of you have been frustrated because you've read an article in the paper and you know you could have been quoted in it? Yeah, We've all had those moments. We've all had those situations, and we look at that article and go, why didn't they call me? I could have given a far better answer than this guy. Well, you have to cultivate that. They aren't going to call you. You know why? They don't know you. They don't know you. I spent a lot of time and energy working with the local media, the television reporters, the newspaper reporters, the radio people. I wanted to figure out how could I create that relationship so they would think of me first. And so sure enough, when we actually closed in December of 2016, in November I put out a post, 1 email, put it on my Facebook, 96,000 people reached, over 900 shares. That was my ad campaign for closing my business. Within an hour, I had been interviewed by CBS local affiliate. Within 2 hours, the NBC local affiliate had booked me to be on their morning show the following day. The local TV station had been down and shot footage, and the NBC affiliate had also, or the ABC affiliate had also called. I got a phone call from 3 radio stations in our market and 3 radio stations outside of our market. And the next day, when the morning paper came out, my mom said, don't look at the paper. Big bold letters above the fold, Toy House closed. I didn't get that just because we were a cool store. I'd love to think that. I got that because we had the relationship with these people. I knew every single person at the newspaper that wrote articles, and the editor and the publisher on a first name basis. I'd run into them on the street. Hi, Sarah. Hi, Scott. Hi, Brian. I knew all the radio DJs. We played golf. I spent my time sending emails to these people, getting that relationship. By the time we were done, when I needed them, they were there for me. Now, how do you get that? By the way, look at those numbers, amazing numbers. How do you get that? There's a 4-step way. This is not in your notes, so you will want to write this down. If you want to get the media to talk about you, it's 4 things. I call it PASS. So if you want to write P-A-S-S down on your piece of paper, the first one is praise. You want the media to talk about you? Talk about them. That's the cool thing about the newspapers, even the digital ones. They have an email address for every reporter right there. You see an article you like, heck, you don't even have to like it that much. Send that person an email, say, thanks for that article, man, appreciate it. That was really cool. Send them that article, start that relationship right now. Say, hey, that was cool. I like what you wrote. Praise them. Ask them. I can guarantee you, in every single news story you've ever seen, read, heard, the reporter had more information that didn't make the cut. Ask them, hey, was there anything more to that you didn't get a chance to share? It's really kind of a cool thing because, number one, they give you that information. They're so happy to share that information because they're pissed at their editor for cutting it out. Yes, there's more. I got more for you. And they send that to you gladly. Not only do you get more information, but you started to build that relationship. They go, here's somebody that wants more. Praise, ask. And then after you've done those 2 things, you now have the permission to share. Dude, loved what you wrote about that. Did you know? I've been doing that recently with the Toys R Us closing and talking to some of these people and shooting them emails and saying, hey, did you know about this angle and that angle? And I'm seeing that stuff show up in some of the articles that the local media is talking about. They still call me up. We closed the store a couple years ago. They still call me up looking for quotes about toys, about the toy industry, about retail in general. Always asking for more information because we built that relationship. Praise, ask, share. You do those three things, and there's going to come that one moment where they're going to say, hey, it's your turn. We're going to give you the spotlight. And when you get that opportunity, can I get a quote from you? Say yes. Shine. Take that moment. Here's my other above the fold picture that we had for the toy house. Now, just imagine where that fold was and what that looked like. Because that covered the entire, down to the bottom of the page. I had to borrow that. I had to get permission from them to use this picture in the presentation because it is theirs. But when you get that moment, take it. Take it. And you will get the press to talk about you. Just a few no-nos. Don't ever go negative. Don't ever badmouth your competition. Don't do it uninvited. If you don't do those first three steps, the praise and the ask, and then the share, they're not going to listen to you. They're going to say, oh man, he's just milking free publicity. But if you build that relationship with your press, they will do wonders for you. So there it is, folks. That's the shoestring. There's 8 different ways that you can market your business. You don't have to do all of them. Find the one that you can put the energy into tomorrow or next Monday when you get back. Figure out what that is. Say, let's try this. Let's see what we can do. They move the needle when you do them right. I want to thank you very much. Before you walk out the door, make sure you write this down. www.philsforum.com. It is the best resource you will find for retailers because it's all free. Check out the free resources. You can download notes to all my talks there. Subscribe to the blog. You'll definitely want to do that. I put out new information 3 or 4 times a week. And then come talk to me in the booth about my books. Thank you guys very, very much. Enjoy your lunch.